Your marketing team just spent 3 weeks and $5,000 on a new campaign. The graphics are done, the presentations are built, the one-pagers are ready to go to print. Then the CEO walks in, looks at the screen for 10 seconds and says, "I don't like the blue." Your heart sinks. That's not just one change. That's hundreds of changes across dozens of files, buried in folders on 3 different shared drives. It's another 2 weeks of tedious, mind-numbing work, chasing down every single asset to change that one hex code. What if I told you that you could fix that entire campaign across every single asset in less time than it takes to order a pizza? And what if I told you the tool to do it is probably already active inside your company's software stack, completely ignored by 90% of your employees? Now I know what you're thinking. Canva, isn't that the free tool the summer intern uses to make birthday cards and social media posts? That's where you're wrong. Dead wrong. We're not talking about the Canva you use for personal projects. We're talking about Canva Enterprise. This is the secret weapon that Fortune 500 companies like FedEx, Salesforce, and Intel are using behind the scenes to slash design costs, guarantee brand consistency across the entire globe, and empower their teams to create stunning on-brand content at a speed that was unimaginable just a few years ago. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain. We are diving deep into the 10 most powerful and most hidden features inside Canva Enterprise that your team is likely paying a premium for, but not even using. These aren't just little tips and tricks. These are fundamental workflow changes that can save your company tens of thousands of dollars in wasted hours and agency fees. Let me paint a picture that is happening right now in thousands of businesses across America. You're a marketing director. You've got a sales team in Chicago, a customer success team in Austin, and a product team in San Francisco. Every single one of them needs marketing materials, and they need them yesterday. The sales team needs a custom one-pager with the latest pricing for a huge potential client. The success team needs an updated infographic for the help center to reduce support tickets. The product team needs a killer slide deck for the big launch next month. What's the reality in most companies? It's pure chaos. The sales rep in Chicago, under pressure to close a deal, can't wait for the official design team. So he goes rogue. He Googles your company logo, grabs a low-resolution JPEG from 2017, slaps it on a Microsoft Word document, and uses a shade of blue that's close enough. The customer success team in Austin submits a ticket to the overwhelmed design queue and is told the turnaround time is 3 weeks. So they just don't update the infographic, and support tickets continue to pile up. And the product team in San Francisco? They just copy and paste slides from an old presentation, complete with outdated statistics and a font that hasn't been brand approved since the Obama administration. This isn't just messy. This is brand dilution on a massive scale. It's inefficient, it's unprofessional, and it's costing your company a fortune in wasted productivity and missed opportunities. Every minute an employee spends fighting with PowerPoint formatting or searching for the right logo is a minute they aren't spending on their actual job. This is the core problem Canva Enterprise was built to solve. This isn't about replacing your high-end professional designers. It's about empowering your entire organization, from sales to HR to engineering, to create beautiful, perfectly on-brand materials themselves, instantly, without ever needing to bother the design team. It's about control. It's about speed. It's about turning your brand guidelines from a dusty PDF nobody reads into a living, breathing, interactive system that makes it impossible to create something ugly or off-brand. So let's stop leaving money on the table. Let's unlock the powerhouse you're already paying for. We're diving straight into the first hidden feature, and it's the foundation for everything else. Something you might think you know, but you don't. We're talking about the brand kit, but on steroids. Hidden feature number 1, the centralized, multi-layered brand control. Every version of Canva has a brand kit. You upload your logo, your colors, your fonts. Big deal, right? The enterprise version transforms this from a simple folder into the central command center for your entire brand identity. The hidden power here is in the layers of control. First, multiple brand kits. This is a game changer. Your company probably doesn't have just one brand. You might have a sub-brand for a new product line. You might have a special brand for your annual conference. You might have a co-branded campaign with a partner. In the old world, managing this is a nightmare of different logos and color palettes. In Canva Enterprise, an administrator can create an unlimited number of distinct brand kits. So when your employee in the Project Titan team starts a new design, they select the Project Titan brand kit, and instantly they have the correct logos, the correct colors, and the correct fonts for that specific initiative right at their fingertips. No confusion, no mistakes. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Brand controls. This is how you designer-proof your brand. An admin can go into the brand kit and set rules. You can say, these 5 shades of blue are our primary brand colors. Employees can use these freely. These 3 shades of orange are for accent colors only, to be used for call to action buttons. You can literally lock it down so that an employee creating a design cannot choose a color that isn't in the approved palette. Think about that. You have eliminated the possibility of someone going rogue with a random hex code. It's the same for fonts. You upload your official brand font. Let's say it's Proxima Nova. You can then define exactly how it should be used. You can set the H1 heading to be Proxima Nova Bold 48 point. The subheading is Proxima Nova Semi-Bold 32 point. The body text is Proxima Nova Regular 16 point. Now, when any employee starts a document and adds a heading, it automatically defaults to the perfect on-brand style. You've removed all the guesswork and all the potential for error. And the logo management is brilliant. You don't just upload logo.png. You upload every single variation your brand has. The full-color horizontal logo, the one-color white version for dark backgrounds, the stacked version, the icon-only version. And here's the key. You can add usage guidelines to each logo file. So when a sales rep drags the white logo onto their design, a little note could pop up saying, use only on dark, brand-approved backgrounds. It's like having a brand manager built right into the software. Now, all of that is amazing for day-to-day consistency. But here is the multi-million-dollar feature, hidden inside the brand kit that will make your jaw drop. It's called the Magic Brand Switch. Let's go back to our story. The CEO hates the blue. Your company is rebranding. The primary color is changing from corporate blue to a new vibrant green. In the old world, this is a 6-month soul-crushing project. It means a designer has to manually open hundreds, maybe thousands of files, every PowerPoint, every social media template, every sales sheet, every internal memo, and painstakingly find and replace the old color with the new one. It's an expensive, error-prone disaster. With Canva Enterprise, here's what you do. The administrator goes into the main brand kit. They click on the primary color palette. They replace the old blue hex code with the new green hex code. They hit save. Then the magic happens. A prompt appears. It says, we've found 1,247 existing designs using this brand color. Would you like to update them all? You click yes, and you watch as Canva's AI goes through every single design in your entire organization linked to that brand kit and intelligently swaps the old blue for the new green. In less than 5 minutes, your entire company's library of creative assets is updated. It's done. The rebrand from a visual asset perspective is complete. That's not a feature. That is a fundamental paradigm shift in how you manage a brand at scale. It turns a 6-month headache into a coffee break. And that is just the first hidden feature. Now let's talk about the second hidden feature. And to understand its power, I need to tell you a story. A horror story. Imagine you're the chief marketing officer of a Fortune 500 company. You've just spent $1 year and $2 million on a rebrand. The logo is perfect. The color palette is sublime. The new typeface is a work of art. You've built a brand Bible the size of a phone book, and you've presented it to the entire company. Everyone is on board. The future is bright. The first major campaign with the new branding is about to launch. It's a huge digital ad by across a dozen platforms. Millions of eyeballs are at stake. The night before launch, you ask a junior marketing coordinator, let's call him Chad, to make one tiny text change to the main ad creative. Just a simple copy edit. No problem, Chad says. The next morning you wake up, open LinkedIn, and your heart stops. There it is. Your multi-million-dollar ad campaign. But something is horribly, horribly wrong. The logo is inexplicably squished. The headline, which was supposed to be in your elegant custom brand font, is in papyrus. The beautiful muted color palette you spent months agonizing over has been replaced with a neon green that burns the retina. And in the corner, where a professionally shot product photo should be, is a blurry picture of Chad's cat wearing a tiny hat. Your phone starts exploding. It's your CEO. It's the head of sales. It's the board. The campaign is a laughingstock. The brand is a joke. And millions of dollars are swirling down the drain. All because Chad, with the best of intentions, decided to get creative. This isn't a hypothetical. This kind of brand degradation happens every single day in thousands of companies. It's the silent killer of brand consistency. Every time someone goes rogue, every time they just grab a logo from Google, every time they think, You know what this needs? More star wipes. A little piece of your brand equity dies. The traditional solution is to lock everything down. To make the brand team the department of no, you create a bottleneck where every single creative request, no matter how small, has to go through a handful of overwhelmed designers. This grinds productivity to a halt. Sales needs a one-sheeter, 3-week turnaround. Social media needs a quick graphic for a trending topic? Sorry you missed the trend. You're forced to choose between two terrible options: brand anarchy or operational paralysis. Speed or consistency. You can't have both. Until now. The second hidden feature of Canva Enterprise is called advanced template locking. And it's not just a feature. It's the cure for this disease. It's the single most powerful tool for balancing creative freedom with brand control that I have ever seen. Here's how it works. A brand manager or a lead designer creates the perfect template. The master key. Let's say it's a social media post. They place the logo in the exact right spot, with the correct clear space around it. They set the headline and body copy in the approved brand fonts and sizes. They establish the color palette. Everything is pixel perfect. Then they engage the magic. Instead of just sharing the template and hoping for the best, they can lock specific elements with surgical precision. Think about our friend Chad. In this new world, you send him the template. You can lock the logo. Not just its position, but its size, its color, its rotation. Chad can't touch it. He can't squish it. He can't move it. He can't make it spin. The logo is sacred, protected by a digital force field. What about the colors? You can lock the background color. You can lock the color of the text. Or even better, you can give Chad a choice, but only from pre-approved brand colors. So instead of a universe of 16 million colors to choose from, he has 5. You're 5. He can choose the navy blue or the off-white, but he literally cannot select that retina-searing neon green. The option simply doesn't exist for him. And the fonts. Oh, the fonts. The source of so much pain. You can lock the font family, the size, and the weight for the headline. Chad can't change it to Papyrus. He can't change it to Comic Sans. He can't make it 200-point bold. It is locked. But here's the genius part. This isn't about turning your team into robots. It's about giving them guardrails on the highway. You lock what must be consistent and you unlock what needs to be flexible. So, for that headline, while the font and size are locked, the text box itself is editable. Chad can go in and perform his one job, changing the copy. That's it. For the main image, you can designate a specific frame as a placeholder. Chad can't move or resize the frame, but he can drag and drop a new photo into it. And with Canva's brand kit, you can even restrict that photo library to only pre-approved, on-brand imagery. So the picture of his cat? It's not even an option. He can only choose from the professional product shots you've already blessed. Do you see the power of this? You are fundamentally changing the dynamic. You are creating a brand sandbox. Your team, your sales department, your regional marketers, your interns, they can all play. They can create, they can be fast, they can be reactive. But they cannot break the rules. Because the rules are baked into the very fabric of the template. This transforms the brand team from the brand police to brand enablers. Their job is no longer to say no to 100 different requests. Their job is to build a powerful, flexible, and foolproof system of templates and then get out of the way. They can focus on high-value strategic work instead of spending 80% of their day fixing squished logos and bad font choices. This scales your brand infinitely. You can have a team of 10,000 employees across 50 countries, and you can be confident that the social media post being created by the marketing manager in Tokyo looks and feels exactly like the one being made by the sales rep in Texas. Not because they both memorized a 300-page brand guide, but because they physically cannot create something that is off-brand. This is empowerment with guardrails. It's freedom within a framework. It eliminates the choice between speed and consistency. You get both. You get the speed of localized, decentralized creation with the consistency of centralized brand control. The horror story of Chad and his cat becomes a relic of the past. The new story is one of speed, scale, and perfect, effortless consistency. So now your brand is protected. Your team is empowered. Everyone is creating stunning, on-brand assets at a blistering pace. But this creates a new, more complex problem. You now have hundreds, maybe thousands of assets being created every week. How do you manage the workflow? How do you get the right eyes on the right creative for approval without getting lost in a chaotic storm of email chains, Slack messages, and conflicting feedback in Google Docs? How do you make sure the final version is actually the final version? That, my friends, is the $10 million question. It's the silent killer of productivity in almost every large organization. It's the chasm between a brilliant idea and a brilliant execution. The answer traditionally has been chaos. It's been a frantic ballet of follow-up emails, version control nightmares labeled campaign credits, and the soul-crushing moment you realize the version that went to print was approved by the intern, not the head of legal. But what if the answer wasn't chaos? What if the answer was a single, elegant, and almost criminally overlooked button inside Canva Enterprise? This brings us to hidden feature number 3, the bulletproof approval workflow. Now I know what you're thinking. Workflows? That sounds corporate. That sounds boring. And you'd be right if we were talking about some clunky, outdated software from the early 2000s. But this isn't that. This is your command center for creative sanity. This is the feature that gives you back your nights and weekends. Let me paint you a picture. Meet Sarah. Sarah is a marketing director at a fast-growing tech company. She's got a massive product launch coming up, and she's just put the finishing touches on the hero graphic for the campaign. It's a masterpiece. It's perfect. Now she needs to get it approved. Who needs to see it? Well, there's Mark from the legal team, to make sure the disclaimer is compliant. There's David, the head of sales, to ensure the messaging resonates with his team on the front lines. And then there's Jessica, the CEO, who has the final say. In the old world, Sarah's nightmare is just beginning. She attaches the file to an email. Hey team, thoughts on this? Mark from legal replies all. The font size on the disclaimer in paragraph 3 is non-compliant. Please increase by 2 points. Simple enough. But at the same time, David, the sales lead, emails Sarah directly. Love the energy, but can we make the logo 25% bigger and change the headline to Unleash Your Potential? The current one is too soft. Okay, 2 pieces of conflicting feedback. Now the CEO, Jessica, who is on her phone between meetings, replies to the original email but only to Sarah. Looks good, but I hate the color blue. Let's try our secondary brand green instead. Ship it. Sarah's world just imploded. She has 3 different stakeholders, in 3 different communication channels, giving her 3 conflicting instructions. Mark wants a bigger font. David wants a bigger logo and a new headline. And the CEO wants to change the entire color palette. Who does she listen to? If she makes all the changes, the design will be a Frankenstein's monster. If she ignores the CEO, she's in trouble. If she ignores legal, the company is at risk. She is now a professional cat herder, not a marketing director. This is where the Canva Enterprise workflow changes the game. Let's rewind. Sarah finishes her masterpiece. Instead of exporting it and attaching it to an email, she clicks the share button in the top right corner. But she doesn't just share a link. She sees an option. Request approval. She clicks it. A simple little box pops up. She types in the names. Mark, David, Jessica. She can add a little note. Hi team. This is the hero graphic for the Q3 launch. Please provide all feedback here by 5 p.m. today for a final review tomorrow. She hits send. And then magic happens. Mark, David, and Jessica don't get a file they can download and mess with. They get a notification and a link that takes them directly to the design, but in a special review mode. They can't move anything. They can't change the color. They can't edit the text. All they can do is leave comments. Mark from legal zooms in on the disclaimer. He clicks on the text block and a little comment box appears, pinned directly to that element. He types, "This text needs to be 2 points larger to meet compliance standards." Click. Done. David, the head of sales, looks at the headline. He clicks on it and pins his comment. Can we test a version with the headline Unleash Your Potential? Jessica, the CEO, sees the blue background. She clicks on the background and pins her comment. Let's explore using our secondary green for this. Show me an option. Now look at what's happened. Sarah gets a single notification. She opens the design and sees 3 clean, organized, and contextual comments pinned directly to the elements they refer to. There is no ambiguity. There is no confusion. It's all in one place. This is now her single source of truth. She sees the feedback. She quickly increases the font size on the disclaimer by 2 points. Mark's comment is resolved. She duplicates the page, and on the second version, she changes the headline and swaps the blue for green, creating the option Jessica and David asked for. She then resubmits it for approval to the same group. They get another notification. They see the updated design with their feedback incorporated. Mark sees the disclaimer is fixed. He clicks the big green approve button. David sees the new headline option. He loves it. He clicks approve. Jessica sees the green version. It's exactly what she envisioned. She clicks approve. The moment the final person approves, the design is automatically locked. It cannot be edited further by anyone. A little green check mark appears. This is it. The official, blessed by all stakeholders, ready to go, final version. Sarah didn't have to chase anyone. She didn't have to decipher a cryptic email chain. She spent her time being a creative and a strategist, not an administrator. The entire process took hours, not days. But that's just the surface level. Here's where the hidden enterprise power comes in. First, the audit trail. Every single comment, every request, every approval is logged with a name and a timestamp. Forever. If 6 months from now an auditor asks why that disclaimer was a specific size, Sarah doesn't have to dig through her sent mail folder. She can go to that Canva file and show the exact moment Mark from legal requested it and approved it. It's a bulletproof system of record. It's corporate accountability simplified. Second, and this is a huge one, is multi-stage workflows. Let's say you have a more complex process. You need the junior designer's work to be approved by the art director before it ever goes to the client or the CEO. You don't want the big boss wasting time on a design that isn't even internally aligned yet. In Canva Enterprise, you can build a sequential workflow. Step 1. Junior designer submits to art director. The design is invisible to everyone else. Only when the art director clicks approve does it automatically move to step 2, notifying the next person in the chain, say the head of marketing. And only when they approve does it go to the final stakeholder. You are literally automating your company's chain of command, ensuring the right people see the right thing at the right time. This prevents so much noise, so much unnecessary feedback, and saves your senior leaders from having to review work that isn't ready for them. This isn't just a feature. It's a cultural shift. It transforms the approval process from a bottleneck of fear and confusion into a streamlined, transparent, and collaborative system. It puts an end to the version control madness and establishes one file, one link, as the undisputed center of the universe for that project. So the design is approved. It's perfect. It's locked. But now you have a team of 500 salespeople across the country. How do you make sure they're all using this version, and not the one they saved to their desktop 6 months ago? How do you give them the power to customize it for their local market, like changing a city name or a contact number, without letting them destroy the brand integrity you just fought so hard to protect? The answer is one of the most powerful, yet criminally underused, features in Canva Enterprise: brand templates with template locking. This isn't just a feature, it's a peace treaty. It's the negotiated settlement in the long-running war between the brand police at headquarters and the frontline troops in the regional offices. It's the answer to the fundamental paradox that cripples growing companies. How do you maintain ironclad consistency while simultaneously unleashing creative agility across your entire organization? Think of it like this. Your brand is a pristine multi-million-dollar Formula One race car. The central design team are the engineers who built it. They've perfected the aerodynamics, the engine tuning, the livery. It is a masterpiece of performance and branding. Now you need to let hundreds, maybe thousands of drivers, your sales team, your marketers, your HR department take it for a spin. The old way was to either give them the keys and pray they don't drive it into a wall, or to never let them drive it at all, forcing them to describe the car to their clients over the phone. Both options are terrible. Template locking is like building a custom cockpit for every single driver. You, the brand guardian, get to decide exactly what they can and cannot touch. You can say, okay, you can control the steering wheel and the pedals. You can change the radio station. But you absolutely cannot touch the engine mapping. You cannot change the gear ratios. And you cannot, under any circumstances, swap out our Pirelli tires for some cheap knockoffs. Let's get granular because this is where the magic happens. Imagine you're the head of design. You've just created the perfect template for a social media post announcing a new product. First, the logo. It sits in the top right corner. Using template locking, you can click on that logo and completely lock it. This means a user opening this template cannot move it. They cannot resize it. They cannot delete it. They cannot apply a weird filter to it. It is an immovable, unchangeable, sacred object. The brand integrity of that logo is now 100% protected, no matter who uses the template. Next, the headline text. You want your team to be able to change the words, obviously, but you've spent months choosing the perfect brand font. Let's say it's Montserrat Bold, size 72, in your specific brand-approved navy blue. You do not want someone changing it to Comic Sans in neon green. With template locking, you can lock the style but leave the content editable. This means your regional manager in Texas can type in announcing our new product in Dallas, and the text will automatically be in Montserrat bold, size 72, in navy blue. They can't change the font. They can't change the size. They can't change the color. They can only change the words. Guided freedom. What about the background image? You have a beautiful professional product shot, but you want the team in Miami to be able to use a version with a beachy local feel. The problem is, if you just let them upload any photo, they might upload a blurry selfie or a pixelated stock photo from 1998. So you lock the image element, but you specify that it can only be replaced with images from a specific folder within your Canva brand kit. Let's call it the Approved Lifestyle Photography folder. Now the Miami team can swap the image, but their only choices are the 50 stunning, high-resolution, on-brand photos you've already curated and approved. They get localization, you retain quality control. It's brilliant. You can even take it a step further. Let's say there's a legal disclaimer at the bottom of the design, a tiny line of text that the legal department insists must be on every single piece of marketing material. You can type that in and then lock the entire text box. Not just the style but the content itself. It becomes a permanent fixture of the design, like it was etched into the very fabric of the template. No one can accidentally delete it or change the wording. Your legal compliance is now automated. So you, the designer, go through the template element by element like a surgeon, deciding what needs to be locked down and what can be flexible. Logo, locked. Legal text, locked. Headline, content is editable, style is locked. Main image, replaceable only from a specific brand folder. Call to action button, the text is editable, but its position and color are locked. Once you've set these rules, you save this design not as a regular design, but as a brand template. It now lives in a special protected area of your company's Canva portal. Now let's switch perspectives. Let's be Sarah, that regional marketing manager in Des Moines we talked about. Before Canva Enterprise, her life was a mess. She'd get a PDF from corporate that she couldn't edit, so she tried to remake the flyer in Microsoft Word, using the wrong font and a logo she found on Google Images. The result was a brand compliance nightmare that made the designers at HQ physically ill. But now Sarah's life is different. She logs into Canva. She doesn't see a terrifying blank canvas. She sees a beautiful, welcoming page with a section called Our Brand Templates. She clicks it. She sees options for social media post, event flyer, sales presentation, email banner. They are all gorgeous and perfectly on brand. She needs to create a flyer for a local trade show. She clicks on the event flyer template. It opens up, and it's like a coloring book where the lines are already drawn for you. She can't mess it up. She clicks on the headline, your event title here, and types in Meet Us at the Iowa Agri-Tech Expo. The font, size, and color are perfect automatically. She clicks on the date and time section and types in the correct details. She sees the placeholder image of a generic city skyline. She clicks Replace, and instead of her messy desktop folders, Canva shows her the approved Midwest office photos library. She chooses a great shot of the Des Moines skyline. It snaps perfectly into place. The company logo is in the corner looking pristine. The legal disclaimer is at the bottom. She can't move or change either of them. In less than 3 minutes, Sarah has created a 100% on-brand, localized, and legally compliant marketing asset. She didn't need to read a 300-page brand guideline document. She didn't need to submit a design request ticket and wait 3 weeks. She just did it. She feels empowered. The brand team at HQ feels secure. The system worked. Multiply that story by 1,000 employees, across dozens of countries, every single day. That is the transformative power of template locking. It turns your brand guidelines from a theoretical document that nobody reads into a living, breathing, interactive framework that guides every single creation. It's the ultimate expression of scaling brand integrity. It allows you to decentralize execution while centralizing strategy. You're not just preventing bad design. You're making good design inevitable. You're building a system where the path of least resistance is also the path of perfect brand consistency. But what happens next? Sarah in Des Moines has her perfect on-brand flyer. But before she sends it to the printer, her regional director needs to sign off on it. How do you manage that feedback loop without descending into a nightmare of email chains, conflicting PDF markups, and version control chaos? Enter hidden feature number 5, with a single-click approval workflow. This isn't just a button. It's a dedicated, in-app communication channel that makes feedback loops elegant, efficient, and completely foolproof. For Chloe, this is her secret weapon against the chaos. Instead of downloading a PDF and attaching it to an email with a subject line like "Flyer for review please," she stays right inside her Canva design. She clicks the share button in the top right corner. But instead of just grabbing a link, she sees a magical little option, "Get approval." She clicks it. A simple dialog box pops up. It asks, "Who needs to approve this?" She starts typing David, her regional director, and his profile immediately appears. She selects him. Below that, there's a space for a message. She types, "Hi David, here's the draft for the Q3 promotional flyer. Let me know your thoughts on the headline copy. Thanks." Finally, she hits send. And that's it. Her part is done for now. No attachments, no new emails, no switching apps. The design is now officially in review. And a little status indicator appears on her design, confirming it's awaiting approval. Now let's jump over to David's perspective. He's in back-to-back meetings trying to clear his inbox on his phone between sessions. He doesn't get another generic email he has to decipher. Instead, he gets a clean, clear notification directly from Canva. It says, "Chloe has requested your approval on Q3 promotional flyer." He taps the notification. It doesn't download a file. It doesn't open a separate PDF reader app. It takes him directly to the high-fidelity design, right inside his Canva app or browser. The flyer looks exactly as Chloe intended it to. He reads her note, "Thoughts on the headline copy." He looks at the headline, "Fall into savings." It's good, but he thinks it could be stronger. In the old world, he'd have to write an email back saying, "On the PDF I downloaded, the main headline at the top, can we maybe try something else?" It's vague and disconnected. But this is the Canva Enterprise world. David simply clicks directly on the headline text box within the design. A little comment bubble appears. He types, "This is good, but let's try something more active. How about your autumn adventure starts here?" He posts the comment. He notices the company logo is the primary one, but for this type of marketing, they're supposed to use the secondary, more modern version. He clicks on the logo. Another comment bubble. Per the new brand guidelines, let's swap this for the secondary logo. He gives the rest of the flyer a quick scan. Everything else looks perfect. At the top of the screen, he sees two big, beautiful buttons, approve and reject. Because he's requested changes, he's not ready to approve it just yet. So he simply leaves his comments and closes the window. The instant he posts those comments, Chloe gets a notification. Not an email, a Canva notification. She opens the design and sees David's feedback, not as a list in an email, but as interactive comments pinned to the exact elements he's talking about. There is zero ambiguity. She sees the comment on the headline and the comment on the logo. She clicks on the headline, makes the change to "Your autumn adventure starts here." Then she replies to his comment, "Great suggestion, updated," and clicks resolve. The comment disappears, but it's not gone forever. We'll get to that. Next, she goes to her brand kit folder, grabs the secondary logo and swaps it out. She replies to that comment, "Done," and resolves it. Now that all the feedback is addressed, she clicks a single button, "Resubmit for approval." David gets another notification. He opens the design, sees his requested changes have been made perfectly, and this time, he clicks that glorious green approve button. A shower of digital confetti rains down on Chloe's screen. The design is now officially locked. This is critical. Locked means no one, not even Chloe, can make accidental edits to this approved version. The single source of truth is now established and protected. The entire feedback loop, which could have taken a dozen emails and 3 different file versions, was completed in minutes, all on one platform. Now you might be thinking, that's cool for a flyer, but we're an enterprise. We have serious workflows. This is where the hidden power of this feature truly shines. This isn't just for marketing. Imagine your legal team. They can now review and approve contracts, new hire documents, or partnership proposals built from templates right inside Canva. Every comment from legal is precisely placed, time-stamped, and tracked. No more redlining Word documents and worrying if you caught every track change. Think about your sales team. A sales leader can review and approve a custom pitch deck a rep has prepared for a massive client, ensuring it's on brand and on message before it ever gets seen externally. Or your HR team. standardizing and approving internal announcements before they're published to the entire company through Canva sites. The real enterprise-grade secret here is the audit trail. Every single action, the initial request from Chloe, David's comments, Chloe's edits, her resubmission, and David's final approval, is logged. You can go back at any time and see a complete, uneditable history of the design's entire lifecycle. Who requested what change? When was it made? Who gave the final sign-off? It's a compliance officer's dream. It's a complete, transparent record that resolves any future questions about why a certain decision was made. But the deepest, most powerful layer of this feature is automating the workflows themselves. With Canva Enterprise, an administrator can set up rules on specific templates. For example, they can create a rule that says anytime someone in the company uses the official press release template, it must automatically be sent to the legal team for approval before it can be downloaded. Or any design created from the Q4 Investor Relations template must be approved by the CFO. This moves your company from a reactive state of hoping people follow the rules to a proactive state where the system enforces the rules for them. It builds brand governance directly into the creative process. You're not just giving your teams tools. You're giving them smart tools with built-in guardrails, ensuring quality and compliance at scale without slowing people down. So Chloe's flyer is now approved. It's locked, it's on brand, and there's a permanent record of its approval. The chaos has been averted. But now comes the next big challenge. She doesn't just need one digital file. She needs 500 high-quality, physical copies delivered to 20 different retail locations across the country by next Tuesday. How do you manage the nightmare of print procurement, vendor management, and decentralized shipping without picking up the phone once? You do it with hidden feature number 6, the integrated print and global dispatch hub. Now I know what you're thinking. Canva Print? That's not a hidden feature. I see the button right there. And you're right, the button is there. But what 99% of users, even many enterprise users, don't realize is that the consumer-facing button is just the tip of a colossal iceberg. Underneath the surface for enterprise clients is a sophisticated, global logistics and procurement engine designed to solve this exact nightmare scenario. It's not just about printing a design, it's about manufacturing and distributing brand assets at scale, with a level of control and simplicity that should be impossible. Let's rewind to that old pre-Canva process. Your campaign is approved. The clock is ticking. First, you'd have your design team export the final file in a dozen different print-ready formats because every printer has their own peculiar requirements. Then the hunt begins. You're on the phone with a printer in Boise, emailing a different one in Miami, trying to get a quote from a third in San Diego. Each one has different pricing, different paper stock, different lead times. The printer in Boise has a slightly different calibration on their machines, so your signature brand red comes out looking a little more like a faded orange. The one in Miami uses a slightly thinner paper stock to cut costs, making the poster feel cheap. The one in San Diego is 2 days behind schedule. Meanwhile, you're drowning in a sea of invoices. 20 different vendors, 20 different payment terms, 20 different receipts you have to collect and submit to accounting. You're managing shipping with FedEx, UPS, and some local courier you've never heard of, tracking 20 separate shipments and praying they all arrive before the campaign launch. It's a full-time job for an entire week. It's stressful, it's inefficient, and it's a breeding ground for brand inconsistency. The final cost is always more than you budgeted, and the final quality is a roll of the dice. Now let's do it the Canva Enterprise way. You're in the approved design. You've locked down the brand elements, the template is perfect. You click that familiar print button. But instead of a simple order form, your enterprise dashboard gives you a suite of new options. This is the command center for your entire physical marketing operation. First, you select your product, in this case the high-quality posters. You choose the premium paper, the matte finish, the exact size. Everything is standardized. This choice you make right now will be the exact same product manufactured for all 20 locations. The first layer of inconsistency is immediately eliminated. Next, the quantity. You need 500 copies. Simple enough. But here's where the magic begins. Instead of a single shipping address field, you see an option. Ship to multiple addresses. You click it. A new interface opens up. You have 2 choices. You can either manually enter the 20 different retail addresses, assigning a specific quantity to each. Maybe the flagship store in New York gets 50, while a smaller outlet in Omaha gets 15. Or, and this is the real game changer, you can upload a simple CSV file. Think about that. Your operations team already has a spreadsheet with all your retail locations. You just add a column for quantity, save it as a CSV, and upload it directly into Canva. In less than 5 seconds, Canva populates all 20 addresses, all 20 shipment quantities, and calculates the precise shipping costs for each one. The entire distribution plan for a national campaign, logged and confirmed in the time it takes to upload a file. But where are these actually being printed? This is the core of the enterprise-grade system. Canva has built a global network of vetted, professional printing facilities. When you place that order, Canva's algorithm doesn't just send it to one random printer. It intelligently routes your order to the best-fit facilities in its network, often using printers that are geographically closest to your final destinations to reduce shipping times and environmental impact. So the 50 posters for your New York store might be printed in a facility in New Jersey, while the 25 for your Dallas location are printed in a Texas facility. But here's the critical part. Every single one of these global partners is held to the exact same, rigorously enforced quality standard. They use the same technology, the same color profiles, the same paper stock suppliers. This means the poster that arrives in Seattle is physically indistinguishable from the one that arrives in Miami. You get perfect brand consistency guaranteed across the entire country without ever having to speak to a single printer. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, payment. In the old world, this was the expense report nightmare. In Canva Enterprise, as you proceed to checkout, you don't pull out a credit card. You simply select your department's pre-assigned budget code. The entire cost of the 500 posters, the printing, the custom packaging, and the 20 individual shipments is consolidated into a single line item on one centralized invoice for the entire company. Your finance department gets a clean, detailed report. You get zero paperwork. Let's recap what just happened. You, the marketing manager, went from a finalized design to a fully procured, nationally distributed, brand-consistent print campaign in about 10 minutes. You didn't send a single email to a vendor. You didn't make a single phone call. You didn't file a single expense report. You just clicked a few buttons and uploaded a spreadsheet. Next Tuesday, all 20 of your retail locations receive a box. They open it up, and there are the beautiful, perfectly printed posters, ready to go up for the new campaign. The brand looks sharp and consistent from coast to coast. The campaign launches on time. And you? You spent that week you would have wasted on logistics actually focusing on your next creative campaign. This is why calling it Canva Print is almost a disservice at the enterprise level. It's not a print shop. It's a centralized procurement and logistics platform that's hiding in plain sight within your design tool. It allows marketing teams to operate with the purchasing power and logistical efficiency of a Fortune 500 company, even if they're a small, agile team. It turns a week of logistical chaos into a 10-minute task. It saves money, it saves time, but most importantly, it protects the integrity and consistency of your brand in the physical world. You've successfully managed the design, the approvals, the brand consistency, and now even the physical distribution. The assets are out there in the wild looking perfect. But this victory immediately creates a new, more advanced problem. Your CEO walks by your desk, sees the stunning poster, and asks a simple, terrifying question. This looks amazing. How are our teams using it? Are our sales reps in the field actually using the new pitch decks we made? Is our social media team in Europe sticking to the templates? How can we know for sure what's working and what's not? How do you answer that? How do you get real, hard data on creative asset engagement across a global organization? Well, for most companies, the answer is a gut feeling. It's an educated guess. It's a spreadsheet that someone's assistant spends 3 days a week trying to manually update, pulling data from a dozen different platforms, and by the time it's finished, it's already out of date. The creative process inside a large organization has historically been a black box. You pour resources, talent, and time into one end and assets come out the other. What happens in the middle, and what happens after those assets are released into the wild, has been a mystery. A costly, inefficient mystery. You're essentially flying $1 billion jet with a blindfold on, relying on vague feedback and anecdotal evidence to steer. You feel like the new branding is landing well. You think the sales team likes the new deck. You hope everyone is using the approved assets. But hope is not a strategy. Not when millions of dollars in your brand's reputation are on the line. What you need is a single source of truth. A control tower. You need to switch on the lights inside that black box. And that brings us to hidden feature number 7, Canva's Design Insights. This isn't just a feature. It's a fundamental shift in how large organizations can manage and measure their creative output. Tucked away in the enterprise-level admin panel is a powerful analytics engine that is, without a doubt, one of the most underrated and game-changing aspects of the entire platform. Most people see Canva as a creation tool. They're right, but that's only half the story. At the enterprise level, it's also a powerful business intelligence tool. So what is Design Insights? Imagine a dashboard that gives you a real-time bird's-eye view of every single design created, shared, and used across your entire company. I'm talking about total designs created, the number of active users, which departments are the most engaged. But it goes so much deeper than that. You can see which specific templates are the most popular. Is it the Q4 Investor Relations slide deck? Is it the LinkedIn post template for new hires? You can see exactly how many times each has been used and by whom. You can also identify your power users. Who are the creative champions in your organization? Is it someone on the marketing team as you'd expect? Or is it, surprisingly, a sales manager in the Dallas office who has an incredible knack for creating compelling one-pagers that his team is using to close deals? Without this data, that person is an unsung hero. With this data, they are a valuable internal resource you can tap into, learn from, and replicate their success across the entire sales force. Conversely, you can see who isn't using the platform. You can identify teams or entire departments that have low adoption. This isn't about calling people out. It's about identifying opportunities. Maybe the team in Germany needs training in their native language. Maybe the product team doesn't see how Canva can help them with wireframes and user flow diagrams. These are problems you can't solve if you don't know they exist. Design Insights makes them impossible to ignore. But let's get to the real meat of it. The question that every CMO and head of brand has to answer. What are we getting for our investment in creative? Design Insights gives you the ammunition to answer that. Let's walk through a scenario. Your company just spent $100,000 on a brand refresh with a top-tier agency. They delivered a beautiful, comprehensive brand kit, new logos, new color palettes, new fonts, and a suite of 20 master templates for everything from social media to internal presentations. In the old world, you'd upload this to a server, send out a company-wide email and pray. You'd cross your fingers and hope that people use the new stuff. 6 months later, you see a presentation from the finance team using the old logo and a font that looks suspiciously like Comic Sans. Your heart sinks. The brand consistency you paid a fortune for is eroding. In the new world with Canva Enterprise, you load that entire brand kit into Canva. You create the templates. You lock down the key brand elements. And then you watch the Design Insights dashboard. You can see, in real time, the adoption rate of the new templates. You can see that 95% of all new presentations are using the correct on-brand template. You can see that the social media team has created 400 new posts this month, and every single one uses the new color palette. And you can spot the outliers. You can see that one specific department is still using an old, outdated template. Now, you don't have to guess. You have the data. You can reach out to that department head and say, "Hey, I noticed your team is still using the old Q2 report template. The new one has updated data visualizations that you'll find really helpful. Can we schedule a quick 15-minute training to walk you through it?" You've just gone from being a brand cop to a helpful partner, all thanks to having access to the right information. Think about the sheer scale of this. You can filter these insights by team, by department, by country. You can finally answer those critical questions we started with. Are the pitch decks we made actually being used by the sales team? The dashboard tells you, yes, 3,000 times this quarter. Is our social media team in Europe sticking to the templates? The dashboard shows you. The German team is at 100% compliance, but the French team seems to be going off script. Let's schedule a call with them. This data allows you to optimize your creative strategy. Let's say you created 5 different templates for Instagram stories. After a month, you look at the insights and see that one of them is being used 10 times more than the other 4 combined. Why? Maybe it's easier to use. Maybe the layout is more effective. You can now talk to the teams using it, find out what makes it so great, and then refine the other templates or just get rid of them to make everyone more efficient. You're no longer making creative decisions in a vacuum. You're using real-world performance data to guide your efforts, saving countless hours and ensuring your team is only working on assets that actually move the needle. This is what it means to run a data-driven creative operation. It's about moving beyond vanity metrics like how many assets were produced and focusing on impact metrics, which assets are being adopted, which are driving engagement, and which are helping the business win. Design Insights is the engine that provides that data. It turns the art of branding into a science, giving you a level of control and visibility that was previously unimaginable for creative at scale. It's the hidden feature that allows you to not just manage your brand, but to truly understand it. So now you have the data. You know exactly which pitch deck template is the most effective. You know which social media ad creative is getting the most shares. You know exactly what works. The new problem is a good one to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. Scale. Your top-performing ad is a masterpiece, but it's just one ad. How do you take that winning formula and instantly create 500 variations of it, personalize for every city you operate in, translate it into a dozen languages, and resize for every single social media platform, all without burning out your design team for the next 3 months? How do you scale success? The answer is, you don't do it the old way. You don't chain your best graphic designer to a desk for a month, feeding them coffee and spreadsheets, hoping they don't burn out. You don't hire a team of freelancers and pray for brand consistency. You use one of the most powerful, yet criminally underused, combinations in the entire Canva Enterprise suite: Bulk Create paired with Magic Switch. This isn't just a feature, it's a paradigm shift. It's the difference between building a sandcastle one grain at a time and having a fleet of industrial machinery at your command. Let's be honest, we've all been there. We've all seen the spreadsheet, the one with 200 rows of data. Maybe it's employee names for new ID badges. Maybe it's a list of real estate properties with addresses, prices, and agent names. Maybe it's a list of customer testimonials to be turned into social media graphics. The old workflow was a creative person's nightmare. You'd create one perfect design, your masterpiece. And then the soul-crushing part began. Copy, paste, change the name, realign the text, export, save as button, repeat 199 more times. It's not just slow. It's a recipe for disaster. It's where typos happen. It's where formatting gets messed up. It's where your most valuable creative talent starts updating their LinkedIn profile because they didn't get a design degree to be a human macro. Bulk Create is the antidote to that creative misery. Think of it as a mail merge, but for design. It's a content assembly line. You provide the blueprint, your master template, and you provide the raw materials, your data, in a simple spreadsheet. Then you press a button and Canva becomes your tireless, perfectly precise production team, manufacturing hundreds of unique variations in seconds. Let's walk through a real-world, high-value scenario. Imagine you're a national marketing manager for a major retail brand. You're running a localized manager's special campaign for 75 different store locations across the country. Each store needs a social media graphic featuring a picture of the store manager, their name, their specific store location, and the unique discount they're offering. Manually, this is a week-long project for a junior designer, fraught with potential errors. With Bulk Create, it's a 10-minute task. Here's how it works. First, your design team creates the one perfect on-brand template. They use brand controls to lock down the logo, the fonts, the brand colors. No one can go rogue and use a wacky font or an off-brand shade of blue. This template has designated spots, placeholders for the manager's photo, their name, the store city, and the discount text. Next, you or your marketing coordinator get the data. You don't need a complex database. All you need is a simple CSV file, a spreadsheet. Column A, manager name. Column B, store city. Column C, discount offer. Column D. And this is the magic part. A link to the manager's headshot that you've already uploaded to your Canva media library. Now for the connection. Inside the Canva editor, you open the Bulk Create app. You upload your spreadsheet. Then you simply play a game of connect the dots. You right-click on the text box for the manager's name in your template, go to Connect Data, and select the manager name column from your spreadsheet. You click the image placeholder, connect it to the manager headshot column. You do this for each variable. You are literally telling Canva, for every row in my spreadsheet, I want you to take the data from this column and put it right here in my design. You've spent maybe 3 minutes setting this up. You take a sip of coffee, you click Generate, and you watch. In less time than it takes to read this sentence, Canva creates 75 pages in a single project. Each one is a perfectly unique on-brand graphic. Sarah from Seattle with her 15% off. David from Denver with his 20% off. Maria from Miami with her BOGO deal. All perfectly formatted. No typos. No misaligned text. 75 unique assets. Ready to go. The sheer leverage this gives your team is staggering. You've just executed a nationwide, hyper-localized campaign in the time it would normally take to write the creative brief. But that's only half of the equation. That's scaling the content. What about scaling the format? You've got 75 perfect Instagram square posts, but the campaign also needs to run on Instagram Stories, which is a 9:16 vertical format. It needs to be on Facebook, which prefers a different size. And you need a wide banner for the company's LinkedIn page. This is where the second punch of the combination lands. Magic Switch. This isn't just a simple resize or crop tool. That's old tech. Magic Switch is an AI-powered redesign engine. You have your 75 generated pages open. You click Magic Switch. You check the boxes for Instagram Story, Facebook Post, and LinkedIn Banner, and you click Continue. Canva doesn't just stretch your design. It analyzes the elements, the text, the images, the logos, and intelligently rearranges them to fit the new dimensions beautifully. It understands that for a vertical story, the manager's photo might look better at the top with the text underneath. For a wide banner, it might place the photo on the left and the text on the right. It generates a brand new, multi-page project for each format you selected. So, in one fluid workflow, you went from one template in one spreadsheet to 300 total assets. 75 Instagram squares, 75 Instagram stories, 75 Facebook posts, and 75 LinkedIn banners. A project that would have taken a team of designers weeks of mind-numbing, error-prone work was completed by one person before their coffee got cold. This changes the entire metabolism of your marketing department. It means you can react to market changes with lightning speed. It means you can test hundreds of variations of an ad with personalized copy for every demographic. It means your sales team can generate personalized proposals with the client's name, logo, and specific deal points in an instant, using a lockdown template. It frees your most expensive, most creative minds from the tyranny of repetitive production work and allows them to focus on what they do best, creating the next big idea. This isn't just a feature. It's a force multiplier for your entire creative operation. So we've conquered scale. We can create 1,000 unique images in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee. But what about motion? What about the one format that dominates every social feed and commands the most attention? I'm talking about video. And what if I told you that Canva has a secret suite of video tools that can turn your static, bulk-created designs into thumb-stopping animations and professional-grade video ads without ever leaving the platform? That's coming up next. Alright, let's talk about the single biggest bottleneck for almost every marketing team on the planet: video. It's expensive, it's slow, and it usually requires a highly specialized, often overworked video editor who is guarding their Adobe Premiere Pro timeline like a dragon guards its gold. You have a great idea for a social media campaign, you brief the team, and you get told, maybe we can get to it in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. In internet time, that's 3 years. The trend is already dead. The opportunity is gone. This is the silent killer of creative momentum in large organizations. The friction between idea and execution is just too high. So we settle. We settle for static images when we know video gets more engagement. We run 1 or 2 video ad variations when we know we should be testing 20. We use the same boring B-roll for internal communications because creating something custom is just too much of a hassle. But what if the tool you used to bulk create all those static designs in the last step was also a Trojan horse for a ridiculously powerful video creation suite? What if you could bypass the bottleneck completely? This isn't about just adding a little text animation to a JPG. This is about feature number 9. Canva's integrated, multi-track, AI-supercharged video editor, designed for enterprise-level scale. Let's go back to that spreadsheet. You just created 50, 100, 200 static graphics for a campaign. Testimonials, product features, sale announcements. You're feeling good. But your boss says, this is great, but we need video for Instagram Reels, for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts, and for our paid ad campaigns on Facebook. In the old world, your heart would sink. That's a mountain of work. In the Canva Enterprise world, you smile, because you're about 5 clicks away from turning that entire batch of static images into a dynamic video library. This is where the magic happens. You're not exporting these images and importing them into another program. No, you stay right here. You can select all of those pages you just bulk created, and with one click, you can apply a consistent animation style across every single one. Think about that. You can choose a sleek animation that has your text elegantly sliding in, your product photo gently zooming, and your logo fading in at the end. And bam, It's not just applied to one. It's applied to all 100. You can then set the timing for each page, say for seconds, and instantly, you've just generated over 6 minutes of unique, on-brand video content. The sheer power of combining bulk create with page animations is a workflow that most video editors would kill for. You've just done in 30 seconds what would have taken them a full day of tedious, repetitive keyframing. But that's just the appetizer. Okay, you might say, that's cool for simple slideshow-style videos, but what about real video editing? This is where people's perception of Canva is about 5 years out of date. Down at the bottom of your screen is a full-blown timeline editor. This isn't some watered-down basic tool. This is a multi-track beast. You can drag in your primary video footage, say a product demonstration. That's track 1. Then you can add another track, laying B-roll on top of it just like you would in Final Cut Pro. You can adjust the transparency, crop it, and trim it with precision. Then you add your audio. You can pull in a licensed, brand-approved music track from Canva's library or upload your own. That's your music bed on audio track 1. But then you can record a voiceover directly into Canva right in your browser, and it lays it down on a second audio track. Now you can adjust the levels, ducking the music down when your voiceover comes in, creating a professional audio mix without ever leaving the page. You can add sound effects. You can layer text animations, logos from your brand kit, and lower thirds that are all, of course, locked to your brand's fonts and colors. This completely changes the game for team collaboration. Your social media manager can now create a sophisticated video ad. They can grab the approved product footage, drop in the approved logo, add captions in the approved font, and use a music track from the approved brand library. The brand team doesn't have to worry about a rogue version of the logo or an off-brand color sneaking into a video, because the guardrails are already in place. It democratizes video creation without sacrificing brand integrity. And then there's the AI. This is where it gets into science fiction territory. Let's say you have a great piece of customer testimonial video, but in the background someone walks past and it's distracting. In the past, you'd have to scrap the shot. Now you use Magic Edit for video. You just circle the person, type remove, and like actual magic, they are gone. The AI rebuilds the background, and your perfect take is saved. This is a tool that, until recently, was the exclusive domain of Hollywood visual effects artists, and it's now built right into your design tool. Or how about the video background remover? You shot a quick message from your CEO in their office, but the background is a little messy. One click, the background vanishes, leaving you with a clean, professional cutout of your CEO that you can place on a branded background, an animated graphic, or anything else. The speed at which you can professionalize raw footage is staggering. Think of the ripple effect this has across an entire organization. The marketing team can now A/B test dozens of video ad variations, changing out hooks, calls to action, and background music in minutes, not days, to find the top-performing creative. The internal comms team can create engaging weekly update videos, complete with animated data visualizations and messages from leadership, keeping the entire company informed and aligned. The sales team can create personalized video outreach messages, dropping a prospect's company logo and website screenshot right into a pre-made template, dramatically increasing response rates. This isn't just a feature. It's a fundamental shift in creative workflow. It eliminates the friction. It collapses the time from concept to completion. It transforms Canva from a place where you make things look good into a place where you make things move. And move your audience to action. It takes the power of video, which was once locked away with a few specialists, and distributes it across your entire organization, all while wrapping it in the protective embrace of your brand guidelines. You've now unlocked the ability to create on-brand static images at an industrial scale and the power to turn them, or any other asset, into professional-grade video in a fraction of the time. You are a content-creating machine. The campaign is ready. Your folders are filled with hundreds of perfectly branded, ready-to-deploy assets. But this speed and scale creates a new and arguably even bigger problem. A problem that plagues every large company. Now that you have this fire hose of content, how do you manage it? How do you ensure the sales team in the UK is using the latest product one-sheeter, and not the version from 2 quarters ago? How do you stop a well-meaning intern from using a photo from last year's holiday party in a major client presentation? When you have thousands of assets and hundreds or thousands of employees, content can quickly descend into chaos. What if there was a central command center, a mission control for your entire brand, built right into Canva, that not only organizes your content but gives you ironclad control over how it's used, and even tells you how it's performing? That final, most critical piece of the enterprise puzzle is what we're diving into next. Welcome to the Command Center, the heart of your brand's entire operation. This isn't just a feature, it's a philosophy. It's what separates Canva Enterprise from every other version, and it's called the Brand Hub, and within it, the even more powerful Brand Portal. Now you might be thinking, I have a brand kit. I've uploaded my logos, my fonts, my colors. I'm set. And you'd be right for a small team. But for an enterprise, that's like using a rowboat for transatlantic shipping. What happens when you have 3 sub-brands, each with its own distinct color palette and logo variations? What about a temporary campaign for the holidays that has its own unique visual identity? In a standard setup, that becomes a chaotic mess of folders and confusing file names. In the Enterprise Brand Hub, you can create and manage multiple distinct brand kits. Your corporate brand, your new product line, your charitable foundation, they can all coexist in one central location, each with its own set of rules, assets, and templates, available to only the teams that need them. But this is where it gets truly powerful. Let's talk about control. In a large organization, brand consistency isn't a nice-to-have. It's a multi-million-dollar necessity. One bad presentation with an old logo, one social media post with a font you retired 2 years ago, and you start to erode the trust you've spent decades building. The Brand Hub introduces something called brand controls. This is your digital brand guardian. As an administrator, you can enforce rules that go far beyond simple suggestions. You can literally disable the ability for users to upload their own fonts. You can restrict them to only using the colors from your official brand palette. Want to make sure nobody uses that cheesy stock photo of people high-fiving in a boardroom ever again? You can block specific elements from even appearing in the search results for your team. This isn't about limiting creativity. It's about channeling it. It's about making it impossible to go off-brand. The path of least resistance becomes the path of perfect brand compliance. Now let's build on that foundation. You have your assets, you have your rules. How do you deploy them at scale? Through brand templates. We've all seen templates, but enterprise-level templates are a different species. Imagine a sales proposal template created by your top design team. It's perfect. The logo placement, the legal disclaimer on the final page, the font hierarchy, it's all exactly as it should be. With Canva Enterprise, you can lock elements within that template. The sales team can go in, change the client's name, update the project scope, and insert new images into designated frames. But that legal disclaimer? It's locked. The company logo? Locked. The core layout? Locked. You empower your entire organization to create bespoke, personalized materials without ever giving them the keys to accidentally break the brand. This is how you scale content creation safely. It's a force multiplier for your design team, turning them from content creators into system architects. So you have this perfectly organized, tightly controlled internal ecosystem. But what about the outside world? What about your PR agencies, your media partners, your international distributors who constantly email you asking for the high-res logo? This is where the chaos usually returns. You're sending WeTransfer links that expire, digging through Dropbox folders, and hoping you sent the right CMYK version for print. Canva Enterprise solves this with the Brand Portal. This is, without a doubt, one of the most valuable and under-discussed features. The Brand Portal is a beautiful, simple, public-facing website. A URL you can send to anyone that serves as your company's single source of truth for all brand assets. Think of it as a press kit, an asset library, and a brand guideline document all rolled into one elegant self-serve platform. Your PR agency in London needs your logo? Send them the link. They can see the logo, read the usage guidelines right next to it, maintain a clear space of 50 pixels, never place on a red background, and then download the exact file type they need, whether it's a PNG for the web or an SVG for a trade show banner. No more emails. No more confusion. No more brand misuse. You can customize your brand portal, organizing it by asset type, campaign, or business unit. It becomes the definitive destination for anyone, inside or outside your company, who needs to represent your brand. It's professional, it's always up to date, and it saves your marketing and design teams dozens, if not hundreds, of hours a month that were previously spent just playing asset traffic controller. So let's put it all together. The Brand Hub and Brand Portal are not just a feature. They are the central nervous system of your brand's visual identity. It's a digital asset management system, or DAM, but with a crucial difference. It's not a separate library you have to download from and upload to. It's woven directly into the tool where the creation actually happens. That is a paradigm shift. It closes the gap between asset storage and asset usage, creating a seamless, frictionless workflow that ensures every single thing created in your organization is on brand every single time. It mitigates legal risk, it accelerates content production, and it protects your most valuable asset, your brand's reputation. And that, right there, is the ultimate promise of Canva Enterprise. It's not just about making things. Over these 10 features, we've seen a platform that redefines what's possible for creative operations at scale. We started with the sheer power of the Magic Studio, letting AI become a co-pilot for every employee. We secured the front door with single sign-on and advanced security controls. We broke down silos with real-time collaboration that actually works for a 1,000-person team. We streamlined workflows with automated approval processes and saw how you can publish directly to any social channel. We unlocked infinite creative potential with unlimited access to premium content, and we organized it all with smart, AI-powered folder structures. We saw how you can understand what's actually working with deep, insightful analytics. And finally, we brought it all home with the Brand Hub, the single source of truth that governs and protects your entire visual identity. Each of these features on its own is a powerful upgrade, but together, they form a cohesive, integrated operating system for your company's communication. It's a platform that democratizes design, not by lowering the bar, but by building a safe, intelligent, and efficient framework for everyone to create within. It transforms your brand guidelines from a dusty PDF nobody reads into a living, breathing set of rules enforced by the software itself. It's about moving faster, working smarter, and building a brand that is more consistent and more powerful than ever before. This is how you scale creativity. This is how you build a brand that lasts. If this look behind the curtain of Canva Enterprise has been as eye-opening for you as it was for me, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tools that are shaping the future of work. And I have to ask, of all 10 features we covered, which one would be the absolute biggest game changer for your organization? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear what challenges you're facing and which of these solutions resonates the most. Thank you for watching.